Hey, welcome to Upstate Eats. I am your host, Katrina Lee. We are WFRZB RochesterFreeRadio.com, and we have a great show lined up tonight. It's Happy New Year's. It's a new start for everyone. This is the time of year that everyone decides that they're going to join gyms and they're going to change their lifestyle and their workout, and maybe they lose interest within 2 weeks, and it's kind of lost cause. But we have a person on here who can actually encourage you to stick with it long term. So why don't you tell us a little about yourself, Noah?
Thank you. First off, I want to say congratulations on your 3-year anniversary for the show.
Thank you.
Um, the show that Chris and I do, Chris, my co-host, he's here with me. It's called Noah Knows, the Science of Health and Fitness. And what we do is a podcast we release every single week. Some of the shows are smaller where it's generated more for like general population without getting too technical about things. And then we have typically about once a month, we'll have some sort of very prestigious PhD, sometimes MDs in the field that are, leaders of their craft in terms of exercise or nutrition or whatever it is to speak more in depth on a topic.
Awesome. So, what has been one of your favorite topics they discussed?
Um, uh,
Anything that actually inspired you, like, wow, I could use this in my life, or
uh, for me, one of the favorite things I actually like to discuss are the stories that are relatable. It's we actually haven't had the opportunity, or I should say, we haven't had a guest on yet, which I wanted to bring on that's had a major weight loss, right? A major change in weight loss or transformation, where it's like I have a client that I want to get on, and I'm not gonna put him on blast or anything.
yeah.
He is the sole surviving military vet, combat unit, only survivor, PTSD. He ends up going through rehab because his injuries that he got during the line of fire. He gets addicted to pain medication through rehab, and then he has to go into drug rehab after that for his
Okay.
addiction. So over the course of his time in his PTSD, he puts on a couple 100 pounds. And when I come and meet him, he is probably somewhere in the range of 350, maybe 375 pounds, and he's telling me how he hasn't left his house in a couple of months, and
Oh, wow.
during that time we formed a bond where like I would see him and we just talk, and then I start seeing him every day, and this guy went from being scared to leave his house because of his PTSD to losing over the course of a year 12 inches off his waistline and 100 pounds, and because of that gets reintroduced into society. So it's those situations, it's those stories that really
Are passionate to you?
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, what is your favorite machine to work on for exercise?
Um, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's a machine, but probably I would say if I was to pick one exercise, it would be deadlifts.
Deadlifts. Okay. So most listeners don't know, some do, but maybe not on this show. There was in a horrific car accident, and then I had my stomach cut to the pelvic bone, and my intestines came out. So I was warned by my doctors not to exercise, and they said I could have a hernia after a year. So I don't feel comfortable with my body right now. I've always had a six pack. I always was in shape. I sat around for 3 months. I couldn't do anything. I'm the heaviest I've ever been in my life. I just don't like how I feel. So I started moving around and getting some more little like up and down, losing weight, cut out alcohol, all that stuff. But I want to start getting an exercise. I don't know a healthy way to go about it. What do you suggest for a person like myself or a woman per se who had a cesarean?
So the first thing I would say for you is get medically cleared to return to the gym first and foremost. But if that isn't, if you don't have a professional that you're working with right now in terms of rehab or anything like that, I would say the best thing you can do is start getting steps in. When we look at long-term studies that evaluate successful weight loss at 10 plus years, so these are people that lost a substantial amount of weight,
Okay.
and then were able to keep it off for the next 10 years, the single commonality, regardless of exercise type or diet type, is that all these people were getting in at least 10,000 steps a day. So that is the easiest thing you can do right now,
step counting.
is to just become more active just through daily activity, whether it be walking the dog or walking around your house or even going to the gym to walk on the treadmill for a little bit. If it's colder right now, but start getting your steps in. And
That's smart.
Realistically, you although being active is incredibly beneficial towards weight loss, you can lose weight right now without spending hours in the gym, simply by adjusting your diet, because you've become less active because of your injuries.
Yeah.
You need to adjust your diet to take in less food to counteract that inactivity. But you could tomorrow start losing weight if you start to put yourself in a deficit by adjusting your diet.
Now, what type of diet do you assume people should be trying with that?
Oh,
Any suggestions?
Noah loves the fad diets, stuff like keto. He loves the lose 40 pounds in 40 days. He loves all that stuff and fully endorses it, right, Noah?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Very tongue in cheek.
So I would thank you, Chris.
I don't love keto. Keto seems hard for me. There's a lot of red meat, and I kind of like carbs a little bit. I like a little bit of everything. I like seafood.
I'm a big fan of the seafood diet, so seafood and eat it diet.
Nice.
And I heard that when you eat a lot of keto, it says they make your vagina smell weird. I have read that.
Oh my God, you're not. Legitimately, you are not the first person to bring that up to me.
I read it in Cosmo magazine.
Who is
I
this
didn't
keto
actually
woman?
try it on some woman, but I did read about it.
Chris, you could make that an episode for the Loft. You can start.
Oh, sure.
So Chris actually does his own little sideshow, and it's called The Loft. And you start making the missus go on keto and report for us.
Yeah,
I think she'll kill you secretly. The next day when she realizes you're actually commentating on her. One day this tasted like this.
So the diet that I'm going to recommend is the diet you can stick to. And I know that's such a vague and cliche response, but again, adherence and sustainability is going to be the most significant factor for weight loss. So it doesn't matter what diet you do. And again, meta studies across the board continue to show this. As long as calories are equated, so like if you do, let's say 2,000 calories from keto or 2,000 from carnivore or paleo, it doesn't matter what the diet is. All things considered, with calories being equal, your weight loss will be identical. So my advice is find the diet you enjoy the most, and it's going to be the most beneficial for you. Because, tell me something that you dislike eating. Chris, you can weigh in on this. So both of you guys, what are one or two things you dislike eating?
I don't like anything really vegetarian that's supposed to be disguised as a meat. So
the Beyond Burger?
Yeah, stuff like that. Kale, the really hardcore diet fat stuff. Otherwise, you can make anything taste good. But the stuff that gets shoved down your throat like quinoa and kale, not for me.
Yeah,
You're not going
I
to find
don't
that in
like
my
that.
cupboard, especially if it's keto, from the knowledge I just learned.
Okay. So this is what I'd say. Both of you agree on the foods that you dislike. Now, I'm just going to throw an example out here. What if tomorrow some study came out and said that this was the best food for you for weight loss, right? you're going to try it at first, but what's going to happen a week, a month, or a couple months down the road? How long do you think you can continue to eat the shit that you don't like? You're going to give up eventually and go back into you're going to fall off your diet. You're going to fall back into old habits, and you will lose progress for it. So it doesn't matter the type of diet or the food that it is. As long as you're in a deficit and you enjoy eating it, you can lose weight doing it.
No, I agree. I have a problem with lactose. So I'm lactose intolerant, but I love cheese and I can't help myself. And then I'll get myself sick. And it's a struggle, but I still push it. And I'm like, okay, it's worth it. But then I got to run home and just sit in the bathroom for like an hour or two. Which I probably shouldn't do because I'm an adult and I know better, but it still happens.
Yeah, Lindsay, my fiance, my beautiful
Great
fiance.
Great segue, Noah.
Yeah, she would tell you that I'm lactose as well because of the amount of farts that I have. But here's the thing: is if you enjoy it, doing it in moderation is okay, right? Like if you can deal with the fact, like, hey, like, I really want ice cream today.
Yeah.
And you go out and you enjoy it, and you're okay with being on the toilet for a little bit, right? If that keeps you on track, go for it.
Yeah, no, it's great unless you go to Melting Pot and then you're going to drive 45 minutes to your house. You're like, pull over, frantic. And then my friends are like, oh, my God, what are you doing?
You're going from one melting pot to another.
Yeah. I should never ate that whole thing of cheese and dipped it in the wheat bread and stuff, and that was my fault. But it was so delicious.
Do you ever take like solid bricks of cheese and then dip it into liquid cheese?
Yes, it's so bad. That's exactly what you shouldn't do. Yeah, this creates problems. Along with ice cream, I'm like, my friends, I'll get you a milkshake. I just want a couple of sips, and the rest is yours. It's okay. Let me have a sip of like a taste of your kid's ice cream. I won't eat more. I'll buy it for them. It's all right.
Oh my God.
I know what will happen if I eat the whole thing, and I don't want to suffer like that. So we are going to cut in a quick break, and we shall return. This is Upstate Eats. We are RochesterFreeRadio.com, 106.3. Hey, we're back to Upstate Eats. And my name is Katrina Lee, and this is WWRG, Rochester Free Radio. No kidding. It is WXRZPL, RochesterFreeRadio.com. And you can find it online, and we are RochesterFreeRadio.com. Find us on Upstate Eats. You can find us on YouTube, the TuneIn app. You can find us on Beyond the Pole. We have other guests in-house. And we're going to talk about healthy things today. We're going to talk about diet, exercise, changing your life. The New Year's, we have Noah and Chris. And we're going to talk about different things. So Chris is gone, I guess. So Noah, why don't you tell us about a little bit of your exercise skills or your food meals that help people get in shape and ready?
Okay. So I do personal training at a couple of places. I work out of two facilities. The first is a public gym. It's called Knockout Fitness, and then I also work at a private facility in the South Wedge called Glick Fit.
Okay.
Now, in terms of the meals that I do, I don't.
I see them online. They look amazing.
Yeah, so that's not anything like it's not like I cook for my clients or anything like that. Those are the meals that I make for myself and my fiance at home, and it's just a way for me to be creative and post online and show people that they can still eat the things that they love. That are far less in calories than the normal item.
Does your fiance actually appreciate your food, or is she just smile and buck it up?
Oh.
Like, I love you, honey, but I'd rather have a sausage. A really big, long sausage I can do multiple things with.
Maybe a little bit of both. No, she thankfully she's pretty easy to please, but the one post that you shared was the pizza that I made, and typically I aim whenever I make meals that I I do at home with the intent of sharing with people. It's to make them under 600 calories. Now that pizza that I made, the entire pizza I think was like 550 calories or something like that, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, it like we look at a normal slice of pizza, right? It's going to be at least 300 calories, maybe 500 calories per slice, right? So we're talking about you can have one slice of pizza versus an entire pizza. Which one are you going to choose?
A whole pizza?
Exactly. And I mean they're so simple, so simple to make. Literally what I do is I go to Wegmans, I go to the bread aisle, and there's two products that I pick up. One is Joseph's flatbread, and the other one is another local company from Syracuse called P28.
Okay.
Now, they're called P28 because they have 28 grams of protein in the crust for their pizza, right?
Okay.
So already...
Impressive.
Right. And they're pre-cooked, all that stuff like that. So the cook time for the pizzas are less than 5 minutes. So literally what I do is I just put the ingredients that I want on the pizza, and 5 minutes at 500 degrees, and the pizza is ready to go.
Impressive.
Thank you.
What's your favorite food you made so far?
Oh man, I make a lot. Like, really, I go forward with the intent of being honestly inspired by things that I see on TV. So, like, I think it might have been Pizza Hut or Domino's or something like that. Earlier in the year, they were advertising their 5-meat pizza, and I was like, damn, I really want that. And then, that pizza is, a couple thousand calories to eat the entire thing, maybe,
Yeah.
And then I'm just thinking to myself, like, I can make the identical thing at home for less than 600 calories for the entire pizza, right? So it's just a matter of getting some alternative items, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then portion control. So
Portion control is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your fiance? What is her favorite food?
Oh,
Is she as healthy as you? Is she trying? Because she looks pretty fit and thin. I don't know if she always is on a strict diet as you are. I'm sure she has cheat days.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like
She
looks at you eating some, I don't know, piece of
Well,
like.
dinner. I always take care of dinner. I make dinner every single night. So.
Oh, that's romantic.
Well, I mean, like, not really, because she just can't cook. So.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, like, dinner I can always control, and I ask her like, "Hey, what have you had to eat today?" And she'll tell me, and by her giving me that information, I adjust her portion sizes, or instead of using a full fat cheese, I may sub out for like a 2% or a fat free or something like that. So it's
Oh, that's impressive. It's controlling food. Yeah. Not really controlling, but I mean, she's extra hangry. Would you give her an extra portion, or
yeah.
you know,
So
like if she is on her period, you just throw that piece of chocolate at her and run away, or
she actually
would
doesn't
you like
chocolate.
try to like portion it down and be like, here's your little snack?
So with her, for the foods that she really likes, I employ the rule of 20. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with the rule of 20, this basically states that we can allocate 20% of total daily calories to what's called hyper-palatable foods. This is going to be cookies and cakes. It's all the stuff you love to eat, right? It's very palatable, but it's typically small in mass, so you have to eat that much more, which makes it even worse for you because it's calorically dense, right?
Okay.
So I employ the rule of 20. So one of the things I know she loves is pie, right? So like I go to Wegmans and I get pre-portioned out Hershey's ice cream chocolate like cake, right? Or chocolate pie. So it's Oreo crust on the bottom, vanilla ice cream for the filling, and then it's drizzled with Hershey's chocolate syrup on top.
That sounds good.
Right, and because it's individually wrapped, I know that every single slice of pie that we do from them is only like maybe 250 calories, right? Because it just
Yeah.
plays off of portion control. So she can still eat something she loves on a regular basis in that situation
Yeah.
and not have to worry about it.
Wow, that's impressive. And she enjoys it genuinely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like she
She
loves.
doesn't want more.
Luckily for her, she fills up pretty fast. So, there's plenty of times where she'll say, "Oh, I'm so hungry," and she'll snack on something, and then 10 minutes later, it's time for dinner, and she's like, "Oh, like I'm good. I'm not that hungry anymore."
Okay.
She's like a little kid that spoils her appetite by snacking.
Yeah, that happens. I understand. So, what is your favorite exercise?
Besides deadlift, I would probably go with bench press next.
And what is her favorite exercise?
She really enjoys working on her butt, so like doing hip thrusts and glute bridges. She really enjoys working on her shoulders as well. So
Yeah. Now, what do you suggest for other people when they want to start into your program? Like, how do they go about it?
so like
Obviously you start slow and then you
Yes.
get there. Otherwise, it'd be too overwhelming.
Yes, absolutely. So typically, what I start out with is something called, and this is a phrase or a terminology that was coined by PhD Mike Israetel, and he calls it minimum effective volume. So typically, when we're looking at a beginner, because they're so undertrained, they don't need to do a massive amount of work to get results because they're so untrained. Anything you do will be beneficial for them. So you can get away with very short workouts that are very effective. So minimum effective volume for me typically might be like, okay, we're going to do one exercise, 3 sets of 10, right? And then we're going to move on to something else and gauge the response of that. So minimum effective volume. Very, not to say that the work is easy by any means. We still want it to be challenging, but we're not spending excessive amounts of time on any exercise.
No, that sounds great. So we are going to cut in another song break, and then we shall return and wrap up the show. We are WRXCP LP RochesterFreeRadio.com. Hey, welcome back. It's Upstate Eats with your host Katrina Lee, and we have Noah in the house, and he's going to give us a rundown about his business and what he can do or do for you.
All right, so first and foremost, my name is Noah Jobin, and I am a personal trainer. You can contact me directly via my Facebook page that is my same name. Then you can also send me a message on my Instagram account that is Noah Jobin Fit. Now, I also have a podcast. It's called Noah Knows, the Science of Health and Fitness. It's on YouTube. It is on Facebook. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. It's on every type of social media platform. I've had all sorts of very well-respected, established PhDs that are the leader of their field in terms of exercise science and nutrition. So please send me a message if you're interested in making 2020 the healthiest yet.
And what is the biggest weight loss or anything you ever occurred? Like the biggest transformation?
The biggest transformation that I've done is 90 plus pounds.
Wow, that's a lot. After that, did they have to have skin changed because it's like droopy or?
That probably, I don't know if they did or not, but yes, and typically
I know it affects it when you lose a lot of weight. Then you have that.
So you can get stretch marks and typically in excessive weight loss or weight gain, the elasticity of the skin breaks.
Yeah.
So in those situations, you may have to have surgery, but For that person, I don't think they needed it.
No, okay. Now, what is the favorite thing you've ever made that is health saving and dietary?
The
Before we end, favorite food.
favorite food, easiest thing that I love right now to make is pasta. I get a 0-calorie pasta. Yeah, 0-calorie pasta, and I make spaghetti on a regular basis.
And what's your girlfriend's or fiance's favorite food?
Probably the pasta.
Okay.
Pasta or the pizza. I make a lot of burgers too.
You don't find her sneaking around eating McDonald's in your backyard or anything? No.
Maybe.
All right, Sue. Thank you for coming in. I'm so glad you were here. I wanted to meet you for a while. Oz is on next, and we are Upstate Eats, and this is 106.3 Rochester Free Radio. I'm your host, Katrina Lee. We're Upstate Eats. We are on every Thursday from 8 o'clock till 9. And then upcoming will be Beyond the Pole, 10 till 12. And that's our 3-year anniversary. So everyone come join in the fun. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.